What's up, everybody, to another segment of Want to Know with Raven Paris. So today is going to be a special interview because I'm here with my bro, D.Watkins.
So happy to be here.
I'm glad that you could come.
Anything.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different. So I like to actually take people behind the artist before they became who they are today.
Okay.
Okay? So you have a lot of titles, and I want you to address them all.
That's how.
Run it down just to start out so they can get an idea of who you are.
I'm an author.
A New York Times bestseller author.
New York Times bestselling author.
Okay.
College professor.
2 books.
Most importantly, a mentor. I'm also a television show creator now. We're taking meetings next month. I'm excited about that. And I'm a homie. I'm a friend. Like I'm a connector. Like I think one thing that the artist community needs more of is just people who share ideas and share resources and work hard at making this whole world smaller, because we all have gifts and sometimes we're not given a platform to be able to share those gifts. So I like to consider myself to be one of those persons to say, hey, Raven, meet this person, meet that person.
Basically, like you connect and bridge the gaps.
I try to.
You do.
And we try to create that culture too, because like it's one thing to do it, but then you got to talk about it as well. Like people do great things, and a lot of us are, I'm a modest person. Like all jokes to the overhead, I'm really a modest person, so I don't really, it's hard for me to even sit here and talk about titles and all that, but I think we do have to talk about the stuff, the positive stuff more, because it creates that culture. Like Kendrick Lamar gave all this money to the school, and Crenshaw, and somebody asked him about it, and he was trying to like, don't say it, and I'm like, I feel you, bro, because that's the godly way to do it. But if other people see him doing it, then maybe they'll do it too, and then you create that culture. So.
And it also changed the narrative of who they may think a rapper is or an author, especially by you being from East Baltimore. They may not even look at you and know that you have all these accolades behind it, and you're lit.
Yeah, so I try to mainly, I do a lot of school visits, and that's where I get a chance to really, like, quote unquote, flex. Like, because I try to let the kids know, like, yo, I walk these blocks and I roam these halls, and I've got a chance to work on a film with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith Company's Overbrook. You know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to do some cool TV stuff and write some stuff and meet some people and.
Wait, you're giving too much.
Oh. So
wait, y'all.
I try to go to the schools and I try to let the kids know that it can happen.
Okay, so I'm gonna start and you finish, okay?
Okay.
First, so I grew up blank and my blank raised me.
I grew up in East Baltimore and my block raised me.
For real?
Yeah, multiple blocks raised me. And I say that because like nobody is really raised by a person when you grow up in poverty. Like you always need, like you pull from grandma, but then you pull from your siblings, then you pull from people in the neighborhood. Some of these people doing street stuff, some of these people are working everyday jobs, some of these people are junkies, but you get little bits and lessons from all of them. And I try to take all the good stuff and then I try to use it throughout my travels. So I was, I love my mother.
Okay, was your parents around?
I love my father. They did their thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We wasn't the Cosbys. You know what I mean? But they definitely played a role a bit. Well, they had to do it so I could be born. So I guess they did that. Bro, people never think about that. Like if your father never pressed down on your mother,
then they wouldn't be here.
Let me get that. Then you wouldn't be born. Like you would be like a no thought.
You wouldn't be here.
So my parents are amazing. My dad, he just had open heart surgery and a stroke in his brain, and he fought through all of it.
Yeah, soldier.
He's soldier. He from Lafayette. He from Lafayette Housing Project. And, my mother from the Boulevard, so they like a little East Baltimore love story. You know what I'm saying? And, they fight us.
And look at you. Now you're here today. All right, we're gonna keep this thing going.
I'm here today because he got it.
Oh my gosh! All right, so when I was little, I used to rap in the mirror. What you used to rap? And I want you to do that rap right now.
You want me to do the rap right now?
What you used to rap in the mirror. This is the mirror. What you used to do.
Streets is why I got me waiting for you to make your first mistake. Jigga.
Jigga. All right, next. Growing up, I used to be scared of
being a junkie.
For real? Just because you used to see him around?
When your family, like your close family members experiment with drugs, You know, I remember the first time I had liquor in middle school. I was terrified.
Middle
Like I was
school?
terrified. Like I did it because it was my mission.
Right.
One of my friends was going through a real rough time. You know, his mother was getting beat up real bad, like real bad, and he was depressed. And there's no counseling, there's nobody to talk to. This close friend, he ended up becoming a murderer. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, listen to older people, and they get down, or when they celebrate,
they drink,
they cracking that bottle. So I had the gin.
Who the hell sold you some gin?
I had the gin. We don't name.
You went home middle school.
We don't.
All right, break the code. All right, we don't gotta break the code. That's fine.
We don't tell Raven.
All right.
So so we had the gin, and the only thing I was thinking, like from when I had the bottle in the paper bag in my hand, it was like a little pint. I was squeezing it. Was like, yo, don't get hooked. Don't get hooked. Don't get. And I don't even know where this idea came from. But you think about when like Uncle stealing video games, and like when I was growing up, there was young junkies. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like, I'm talking about in the mid '90s. In the mid '90s, when like the young crack kid still was a thing. It was a thing. So.
But I feel like the kids are younger now. Like you legit will see little 13, 14-year-olds nodding off on
they
the
go
bus
to
stop.
so,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
imagine that energy opposite.
Right.
Instead of them nodding off, they running up and down the block, climbing through windows. See the dude running down Miami Street with a refrigerator on his back.
Yeah.
He only weigh 80 pounds. Like so. So I kept thinking that. Then when I sit there, and I'm like, oh my God, why would anybody get addicted to this? And so that was one of my fears coming up. I didn't want to be a junkie. Being a junkie was like the worst thing in the world you could ever do. And I'm not, so I guess it worked.
It worked. Okay, I always used to get in trouble for. You seem like you was a bad kid. My mouth, like. And you still use it a lot.
I talk too much shit. I talk cold cash. I talk cold. Can you use profanity?
Yeah, go ahead. It's
so they blank it out?
Yeah, we could do our thing.
I talk too much. I talked a lot of trash coming up. Like, I ain't had no picks or choices. So if I'm saying something slick to my grandmother, she gonna pop off, smack me in the mouth. If I'm saying something slick to my mother, my father got it the worst. He got it the worst. I know he was like, yo, this guy's crazy. And then police officers too, like whoever. I remember we was out at Elwood Park playing basketball, and the police officers made everybody lay down, and he was just giving his little speech about y'all not gonna be nothing in our land. And I'm like, you know who I am?
Right.
I was just like that. Like,
people are like, who are you?
Forget the fact that I'm laying on the ground. Forget the fact that we shouldn't even be going through that anyway. But the thing that triggered me was like, I'm not gonna be like, what? Are you crazy? And I proved that cop wrong too. But I ain't had no picks or choices. Like, I didn't. I didn't ran my mouth and let the people being stomped out, and then I got stomped out by like 40 people, like at somebody's family. It was like a Cherry Hill reunion or something like that.
You ain't supposed to stand over there.
I was with my own boy, but thank God he saved me. But like, no picks, like anything. Like I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies. And I'm not like an advocate against bullying. Like I don't have like a campaign and a hashtag. But like if I see somebody and I'm like, yo, he's a bully, I just feel compelled to like
you gotta say something.
The bully. Yeah, the bullier.
I always tell kids that too. Like when I go to schools, I be like, who get in trouble for running their mouth? Because that was me. I always got in trouble the whole time. Now you use your mouth to make money, and I use my mouth to make money.
Yeah, that ain't sound right.
I mean, you get what I'm saying. It became.
Now we use our mouths to make money.
Your passion and your purpose, it came together, and now you make money from it. Get out!
This is G-rated, right?
Get out of here.
But
you get what I'm saying?
For all the kids who talk too much, who get conduct interferes with learning, you have a career in communications waiting for you.
Hello, that's the point.
And we should be teaching that. We should be talking about that. Some kids are quick, and some kids are witty, and some kids can come out the top of their head with some brilliant things, and we don't reward them. We put them in detention, or we tell them that they're not going to go far in life. In actuality, if we nurture that, then that could be your next big time talk show host, big time radio host, or stand up comedian.
Exactly. So if I could have a superpower, it would be what?
To become invisible.
What you want to see?
No, I don't want people to see me. So like, say if I'm walking down the street and like I bump into somebody that's annoying, I just want to be like as soon as they get like arm's length, I want to be like disappear. Yeah. And then when they go away, I'll come back.
Okay. Last, I am most proud of.
my family, my new family. My family and my new family. Like,
I'm excited for it too.
Because I feel like, you know, in the relationship that I'm in, we have the opportunity to start our own traditions and like our own vibe and our own wave. And my family didn't really have like a
family traditions,
established culture, you know. I might be OD with it. I'm thinking about having a family crest design, like a little logo for like a doormat and sweaters and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, like, do it.
But
y'all gonna have the Christmas cards,
I want us to have our own, like our own little existence, because I feel like I didn't have that. And you know, her family has some traditions, but I feel like we can one up them. You know what I mean? We can take them to a higher level. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for that too.
Money and success and all that stuff is cool, but like, you know, I'm not rich, but I've made enough of my life to know that it doesn't really feel like anything to buy a nice car or to buy, you know, whatever, first class flights, trips, anything that like the top 5% has enjoyed. You know, the novelty wears off of everything, and I think we get lost in that. Like we get so lost in it. So, you know, but the moments where like y'all, when you took a trip with that person you care about,
you
or
remember that.
when that person you care about walk in the door with that takeout and you like, oh, I'm fucking barking. You know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all eat the food and laugh and shit. Like that little stuff is like, so I did.
You remember those forever.
But this is the stuff that you
eating good.
This is the stuff that you know that you care about, that you think about. Stuff that you miss when you like, you know, like I go on the road for long amounts of time. You know, I could potentially be gone for like a month and stuff like that. So like if I'm home, you know, or when I'm gone, that's what you carry when you're gone.
I agree. So congratulations, you just was on the Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know they don't give you any breakfast.
They don't.
No.
You're just there in the morning doing breakfast time.
Yeah, I thought it was like a club. Like y'all sat down and you know Charlamagne made the eggs and no, it does not.
It's not that.
No.
But I say congratulations because everybody from the outside normally just see a bunch of like. Everybody going there is verified, and Baltimore was in the building you went and represented, so I say congratulations for that, because not a lot of people actually get to make it to these platforms that you get to go to.
Yo, people don't even know what it take though, is what's the funny part. Can we talk about that?
Let's get into it.
So check this out. I sold a book to Simon & Schuster, which is like Atria under Simon & Schuster, which is one of the top 5 publishing agencies in the country, but that don't mean anything. They had a girl who was working there who did PR named Tasha. Shout out to Tasha. Who they got the company like did some downsides and they let her go. Tasha does a book club with Angela Yee.
Okay.
So before when Tasha was on the team to promote my book, they was like, you know, we let Tasha go. So I'm like, damn, Tasha do the book club with Angela Yee. That was my way to get into the book club.
Yeah.
So I hit Tasha up and was like, yo, I'm sorry to hear what happened. If I can do anything, let me know. So she was like, oh, it's all good. You know, I'm still going to try to do that book club thing with you, with Angela Yee. But if you can do something for me, write me a letter of recommendation. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I don't even know you, but I just said if I can do anything, let me know. So I'm gonna write it, and then I'm gonna holler at my homies who writers too, so we can try to make sure this black lady, she's good. You know, so I wrote the letter. After I wrote the letter, I think that was her first time seeing that, like how real I was, because I think they come across a lot of black people that's like, so one of my titles is public intellectual, and I get booked to go speak in universities about really big ideas.
Right.
And when you meet people like these bookie, like, you know, academic people, a lot of times they not the most genuine people. They just care about their books and their numbers and like their little articles and stuff like that. And you know, so I think I kind of caught her off guard with that. So they did the book club, and their book club was on like a rainy day, and not many people ain't pull up. But Angela Yee was there, and she liked my book, and she went and bought my other books, and she liked my work, and she invited me on the show. So
Angela is so real, and she keeps her word.
She invited me. She was like, yo, I'm coming to this party. Come to this party. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna swing past, but I gotta go. And she was like, I'm inviting you on the show. Come on, you gonna come on the show? And I'm like, yo, so you like your people gonna reach out to me, or how's it work? And she's like, nah, take my number, text me, call me, we'll set it up. So I'm like, bet. So And mind you, I interviewed Charlamagne maybe like 3 years ago.
Okay.
I was supposed to go on the show 3 years ago, and you know, he's a busy guy. Maybe he forgot whatever. So I don't carry stuff. You know what I mean? I just be.
Everything happens when it's meant to happen.
I just be chilling. I just be chilling. So, because I've been in the industry for a minute now. Like I'm not like, people be like, oh my God, you came out of nowhere. No.
No, I've been putting in this work.
Overnight success stories take 20 years, dog. Like, what you talking about? Like, I was doing this when you was, you know, on your other venture.
Right.
You feel me? So, so she set it up. She gave me her word. She stood on her word. And, but I had to do all of that just to get to that space. So it's not like your work is one thing, but it's what are you going to do outside of the work? Are you just people creating genius, brilliant art all over the place?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're a genius, brilliant art maker. But what else? Because it's somebody that got work ethic and they know how to strategize and are piecing stuff together to add what their artwork that you ain't never going to beat them. So I'm writing letters. I'm going to book clubs. I'm going to parties. I'm in events. I'm popping up in spaces.
The dots.
And then shout out to Kondwani, he's smart because he was like, yo, can I come? Because now he's there and he's pulling up and he's making those connections too. And that's part about being the plug. It's like same thing I told you, if you can come up, come. You know what I'm saying? So he's making them plugs and like we're trying to build these relationships and that's all we really can do for real. So so I didn't just get on the show because of Instagram and I didn't just get on the show because I am a New York Times bestseller, or I've been on tour for 5 years. Like, all that stuff is great and it's cool and it makes me the man at little parties, but it don't mean nothing because you stepping into a world where everybody's the woman, everybody's the man, everybody on tour, everybody doing their thing, everybody getting money, everybody own this, everybody own that, everybody is somebody, so what's going to make you
unique,
stand out? What are you really going to do to get in that space? And then when you get in that space, are you trying to get a seat at the table so you can eat and get fat? Or you trying to get a seat at the table so you can break the shit down and make a bigger table so other people can pull up and do their thing too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that type of vibe. But I think people should know that though. Like opportunities, you know, they're out there, but you got full court press for them. You can't just, it ain't just gonna come.
Right.
Some, you know, in everything, every time you see somebody winning, you know, we don't do a good enough job. We don't do a good enough job talking about all of the L's we took before we got that one win. So with the Breakfast Club was a big one for me. I probably picked up some dumbass, like 1,000 followers and so got some speaking gigs off of that. But that one situation, that one win came with like at least 250 L's. You know what I'm saying? And more, guess what? More wins are coming, but guess what? More L's are coming too. You gotta just work through it.
I want to speak on, so before you became D.Watkins, you was Dwight, and I hear a lot of times that, you know, it was influential, you went into the streets after your brother passed away, but I don't ever really hear you talk about actually who your brother was or how he impacts you as a person to know the person that we know now.
So, my brother was cool. He was cool. He was one of the coolest people, like, ever stepped foot on this earth. And one thing I'll say about him or about our relationship is, one, he was the first person to get me to read. Two, he was the person that instilled the value of education in me, even though he wasn't a formally educated person. Right. I used to talk about him as a person a lot, but then I stopped. And I stopped because my brother's a street guy from the 90s. If you're a street guy from the 90s, 9 times out of 10, you was putting in gun work. So this person who's a hero to me has been a nightmare to other people. So like, I come up under this guy, another guy I used to look up to a whole lot, right? His name Derek Vaz. And one thing about Derek is he was a street guy, but he put all like the colorful stuff in front of us. He put all of the like, you know, the reason why we was taking all the little kids to like Six Flags and all that, because that's what he did for us. The reason why we was throwing little block parties on Robinson Street and over boat checks and stuff like that, because that's what he did for us, right? And I say that to say, he got killed when Anthony Jones came home. This big time drug dealer from back in the day called Anthony Jones, and he getting people whacked, knocked off, right? He's in jail now. He got like lifetimes 80 or some shit, like something crazy. So mind you, Derek Boz was everything to me.
Right.
Derek Boz was a hero. Derek Boz was everything to me, everything to my family. He was a great guy. So he gets killed by this guy. So now I'm getting older and I'm growing up, and I get into the book world or the film world. Somebody come to me and they're like, yo, we want you to do this little film on Anthony Jones. And I'm like, that's crazy, because that dude who's like a hero to y'all is not a hero to me. You know what I'm saying? That's me getting kidnapped. That's me going through like a lot. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happened, that's the past. That's not my life. But the way I thought about that is the way I thought about. That's the way I think about my brother. Like. Yeah, he was a great guy to me, but you know, it's the same way as somebody out here, you know, Donald Trump's kids probably love him. You see what's happening to the kids at the border. They're getting separated from their parents, contracting all types of wild diseases, being beat, molested, and tortured under his rule. You feel me? These people, when they see his face, they probably cringe and throw up.
Right.
You know, so I think about that a lot. I think about my own mistakes and my own story, and what he meant to me is something that I've learned to hold closer, just out of respect for the victims of him,
people.
For the victims he created. You know what I mean?
I got you. So growing up in East Baltimore, I feel like, well, I know for a fact, writing isn't like the cool thing to do. So what inspired you to, when did you actually find out you was in love with writing? Do you remember your first piece that you wrote?
Well, it's more or less storytelling. Storytelling is something, East Baltimore has the best storytellers on the planet. And it's not, I'm not up for debate.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all had like any graphics, just like do like a little baby popping up saying no cop. You know what I'm saying? That's a dumb baby. It's one of those kids. So
oh my God.
Anyway, we got the best storytellers in the world. I don't care. I ain't, you know, whatever. And I think I fell in love with storytelling way before I knew writing was even a profession. I didn't know it was a profession. Like, I didn't know. So you know, the first thing that I wrote, the first poem that I wrote, so the first thing that I wrote that got some traction, honestly, was at Dunbar High School. And I was put into this honors class for history, and the teacher said...
Oh, so you were smart.
Yeah, I wasn't the best student, but I was good at school.
Okay.
So I missed some years of school, and I got skipped some grades, and I still I always did well with school and standardized testing, like pedestrian stuff like that. So I was in this honors class, right, and the teacher gave us this assignment to write our own life stories. So I wrote, and this is around the time a real good friend of mine, D.I., just got murdered. So I wrote an essay about 10 times. My 10 brushes with death, and you know, growing up in Baltimore, and it was like a 20-page paper, and I talked about my cousin Donna.
And you in the 12th grade?
No,
11th grade?
No, I was in the 10th.
Wow.
I was in the 10th grade. So I wrote this paper, and the English teacher, it blew his mind. It blew his, he sat up crying, all that, right? And it blew his mind, and I was able to do that because of storytelling, and that the grammar was horrible, and my storytelling wasn't really there, but it really struck a nerve with this guy, and then I never wrote anything else after that. And I think I came back to it when I wrote a poem. Now I'm not in the streets. I'm in college, and I'm trying to get my life together, and I'm wearing sweaters and shit. I'm just doing everything you're supposed to do when you.
I don't think I saw you in a sweater before.
No, I definitely had a sweater. I had probably 12 of them. So I got this. I'm in college, and I'm about to graduate. So I took and I'm a history major, but I took a poetry class as an elective, and the teacher was like, "There's 2 rules: no rhyming, and don't center it." Right. So I broke both rules. I rhymed and I centered it the first one I passed in, and it was this poem about girls and how you could just buy them, right? And I was So you
was writing poetry?
I wasn't in I still do, but I wasn't in a bitter place, but I was just writing a poem making fun of how I'm meeting these girls that are for sale, which was weird to me. And I mean, I understand people need to eat, but the whole class laughed at the poem, and they thought it was a joke, and they took me as the guy that was a joke, and I got offended, real offended. So I started studying poetry, and I read Langston Hughes' everything, and I read Nicky Giovanni, and I'm picking stuff apart, and then I'm going all the way back to Rumi, and and out beyond tradition and normal ideas. There's a feel, I'll meet you there, or when I'm with you, we stay up all night. When I'm alone, we stay up at night. I thank God for the 2 insomnias and the differences in between them. I'm really reading and studying and reading and studying and picking stuff apart.
And memorizing it.
So next week I come back to class yo, can I go? And they nah, we had enough of you last week. You can go next week. So I came back next week and I wrote this poem. I wrote this poem, like a lyric poem about rolling dice. Blew everybody away. The whole class loved it. I came back with a Squeegee Boy poem, and I published both of them in a school magazine, like without even
Hey,
adding
Squeegee Boys was popping back then?
Squeegee Boys been going on since before windshield wipers came out. That's where they came from. When people didn't always have windshield wipers. So back in the day, like maybe the 50s or something, I don't know when windshield wipers came out, but I'm pretty sure a black person invented it. But I don't know who windshield wipers, because that sounds like something a black person invented.
Sure.
Because they always probably was like, Toby, get the window.
Right.
Get the window.
Right.
Toby like, you know what? Got some shit for you. I wrote a poem about squeegees. You didn't see the 30-year-old squeegee man that you see now. Back then, it was really a job. It was a job for boys. That's why I get mad when I see a dude that's like 42, and I'm like, cuz you putting the little kid out the corner, man. Get your dusty ass. You know what I mean? Let a kid do that. So, but I wrote a poem about squeegee boys, and I wrote a poem about rolling dice, and they both went crazy throughout the whole English department. And like, as I was graduating, they was inviting me to the MFA program. Like, can you just study writing? And I'm like, and it didn't really click for me until I had went to Hopkins. I had got this scholarship to go to Hopkins to get my master's in education. And then they was going to put me into this PhD program as like a joint thing. But while I was at Hopkins, I was dibbling and dabbling with the writing more and more. So after I graduated, I went and got in the MFA program. And I just studied words, and I just sat on top of it, and I just started reading all types of books and like listening to writers who I respect, and just learning the craft and falling in love with it, and just writing and editing and studying, and you know, everything from, you know, different forms of poetry, short form and long form, and you know, haiku, like all of that stuff. And you know, then I'm writing essays, and I was gone. Like, if you weren't talking,
gone in the writing world.
At this particular time, if you wasn't talking about books, like, you know, I probably wasn't really hearing a lot of what people were saying. I probably damaged some relationships. It's cool. Still be okay.
Because your career is now where it's at because of you actually perfecting your craft. And I want to ask
you know what's crazy? I'm not even perfect. Like, I talked to this other dude who was a writer, and he was like, yo, I didn't really get good until I turned like 68. And I got respect. I get it, like, cause what I wrote like 5 years ago, nah, dog.
You look at it like it's trash.
Nah, it can't shake. Nah, like it's, you know, your old stuff has its value and it's good in a different way. But if you're a person, it's kind of like if I went to the gym every day, how I look in 2000 is not how I'm supposed to look in 2015. If I go every day, by 2015, I should have veins in my neck, trapezius muscles and little nose muscles, and I should be like busting out of them fake phony 50-cent tank tops. I should have like 80 of them. I don't know what his tank tops are called. I feel like he's the only one. You remember these tank tops?
Yeah.
They were very weird with a weird strap.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy. He bring a boot cut.
Oh my gosh. So I want to go into some of your essays on the salon that you actually. Okay, so the first essay I want to talk to you about goes by the following. I used to think we needed to leave the hood. Now I think we need to buy it. So I want to know exactly, what were you thinking when you decided to retell the story that you and Bug had? And why did you decide to publish it?
I just think that why should we be fighting to stick out like a sore thumb in somebody else's community when we have all of the resources available to own our own? And I think that people in power and people with money should promote home ownership, and they should promote owning things, and they should promote, they should put resources into our community so that we can experience wealth, and we can start our own journey towards generational wealth. And like everybody else, especially from this city, we sick and tired of seeing people who look like us be gunned down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got to do what we can do to fight against it. I'm
real big on mental health, right? I'm a social work graduate, and you did this piece that was so vulnerable, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize the amount of like people that are born in certain areas battle with the same PTSD that veterans and people that's in the war experience from seeing different deaths and just seeing real life stuff every single day. So when you did the piece, the problem with therapy is for white people, you say, how can I help change the stigma if I don't want to confront the untreated trauma of my own past? So before we even get to the article, I gotta ask, like, when is the first time you remember experiencing a death nearby? Like, and how did that shift your train of thought?
A dude got killed on my grandmother's steps when I was like 5 years old. And like, you know, the little area where we kicked it at and where we spent our time at was just flushed with blood. And I imitated the people that I was around, like young people do, the older people. It's like, yo, that's messed up, that's crazy. And then it's like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I carried that mentality for a long time. Even still to a certain extent. Like, I don't walk around, you know, I don't deal with death the way I probably should. I don't, you know, I'm not gonna post 1,700 pictures, and I'm not gonna be like on Instagram live crying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be like, yo, man, that's messed up, you know, what's on my agenda? And that's so cold.
You take it and you keep going.
It's cold, but I don't really have a lot of coping mechanisms. Like, you know, I've never, you know, I thought about talking to somebody, but I don't know, like I got trust issues, like, you know what I'm saying? So I never made it.
So we speak on one part. You said, my gut is telling me to lead by example by taking the steps I think my family need to see in the effort to get them to address their own illness, but honestly, I don't want to open up those doors. So you confess that you haven't went to go see a therapist, but what are some things, like, I feel like, when did you acknowledge that these were even some things that you battle with mentally? Like, I battle personally with depression, so when was that moment where you acknowledged, like, okay, I mentally may be dealing with something?
I had lunch with a congressman not too long ago, and he's a congressman in Baltimore, and he told me where he's from in Massachusetts. If you fall down and scrape your knee, you get therapy. And he was talking about like how it's a part of their culture, and how like the people who he grew up around, like in him, like they see the benefits of it, like they get it. And the way I see the world and the way other people see the world is just not the same.
Right.
And we deserve to be able to see it in a better, more healed light, and we don't. So you know. I realized at that point, but even before that, we live in a culture right now where it's becoming more acceptable in Black communities, and I hope that it becomes part of our culture. But again, me saying that and I doing it, it's not fair. You know, it makes me look like a person who just says things and don't do that.
I get it. So obviously we say that you haven't took yourself over the ledge. So what are some of the things that you have done to help get through these tough times where you are feeling like shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are some things that you've done to help actually just get through those hard times? Because we all go through it, and not everyone decided, yeah, I know I need to go to therapy, but I haven't went. So what are some things that have worked for you or is working?
I just work a lot, and I think maybe working is like a way to just keep my mind off some of the dark stuff. I do a lot of work, like...
You keep yourself busy.
I keep myself busy. Well, one day work is going to slow up, and I'm going to have to deal with it, and, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Okay. So you do this thing called Salon 5, and you put up... So I want to do Salon 5, but it's the Raven Paris edition. Okay, before we get out of here, right?
Remix.
Yes, remix. So your most 5 memorable moments as being a New York's best time seller was what?
Number 5 would be seeing it in the paper. That was like, that made it real. You know, I never thought it would happen. Number 4 would be my prices went up. People started paying me more to do stuff. Number 3 is the fact that I got the opportunity that when you add that to your name, then people listen to you, so you can shed light on some dark stuff that needs a light shed on it. Number two would probably be the fact that like I get to add that to whatever. I can write 70 books and it don't matter if they don't sell one copy. New York Times bestsellers.
You're still,
on the top of all of them, from the New York Times bestseller, D.Watkins, and number 1, that just made like everybody from my neighborhood, everybody from my block up the hill and down the hill was proud. Like they was proud, and they was posting it. They was posting like it was their own. It is their own.
It is
because
ours.
It's a community thing. Like we share these stories. I'm lucky enough to describe them, but this is like what we go through, and I'm not saying I'm their voice, but I'm an example now. So now that they have an example, now they can have the opportunity to be able to do their thing too, because they see it and they have connections to a person who's doing it. So as long as they're willing to put the work in, we can make it shape.
I agree. Next, 5 favorite music artists.
5 favorite music artists. Cool. So number five is her.
I love her.
I listen to her.
Me too.
I listen to her all the time. Relaxing. Number four is Nas. Nas is like,
OG.
Number four is Nas because Nas is one of the people who like helped me fall in love with storytelling. Definitely a huge Nas fan. Number three is Tupac. His emotion and rage and just the way what he can do with a song and how he can just give you energy from just his voice over a track was just amazing to me.
And he was so young, as you think, like, he was so young. Number
two is Biggie. I think that if Biggie was alive, I think Biggie should have been given like a MacArthur Genius Grant because what he did with words and poetry and storytelling and his voice and just his cadence and how he attacked music is godly. Like he was another person in his mid-20s that we lost too soon.
Yeah.
And then number one, Jay-Z, of course. Like Jay-Z.
Now billionaire.
We grew up in a school of Jay-Z as little kids. Like that was our litmus test for like the luxurious things that we aspired to get. But Jay-Z is not just a guy with luxury things. Jay-Z went on to be a guy to force and push change in our criminal justice system. Show a lot of love and be an example for a lot of young rappers as far as what they do with their money and even bailing them out of situations like what he did for Wayne and what he did for 21 Savage and also what he did for fathers on Father's Day and Beyonce with the mothers on Mother's Day. So they are like that real accessible, gritty, come up type group of people who who are young people. They're giving our young people something to see more than just some of the negative things that get associated with rap music.
Yeah, I agree.
Big shout out to them.
5 people whose impact your life the most.
Oh my God, these 5 lists are killing me, yo. Number five, my dad. My dad can talk to anybody. He can walk in the room, he can set the whole room on fire. So definitely number 5, go to him. Number 4, Dark Vibes, the king of cool. You know, he showed me how to really, be slick and
you felt slick saying it. You started smiling.
He made me slick. Number 3, my big brother Devin, the soldier. Rest in peace to Devin and Dark. I love them both dearly. Number 2, my grandmother. She taught me that. Stubbornness and stupidity live in the same space. So,
yes, Granny.
Never right to do wrong, never wrong to do right. So definitely my grandmother, she's the true definition of a warrior. And Karan makes me a better person.
Hey, Karan, girl.
More patient person every day.
I love it. And last one. So 5 reasons why the people need to purchase We Speak for Ourselves.
Yo, oh my God. You are really killing. I make people do 1. You giving me 5.
Yeah.
Number 5. Because it's on sale, $17.
Okay, $17.
Number 4, it talks about the power of direct service and how social media activism, it can be cool, but if you're not adding that direct service element to it, then you're wasting your time. Number 3 is good storytelling. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you, it'll make you feel some things. Number 2, there's a lot of gems in there. You'll get smart. Like you can instantly be the most interesting person at your family dinner after reading this book. There's so many terms and phrases and ideas that I know you didn't have that you will have if you read this book. And number 1, support a black writer. Like, come on now.
Okay.
Like, support a black writers. We out here. There's black men and women that's doing their thing out here. And, we got to support each other.
I agree. So that wraps up. You passed the 5s. So now you know how these feel with your salon. He'd be like, 5. Put your finger up. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
At D.Watkins World on everything, or in Baltimore, just outside. Like if you
out here.
You pull up on Robinson, Jefferson, or Curly and Madison. I might be standing outside, or I might be at our house eating an egg sandwich,
Facts. Or Motor House.
or I might be on Motor House on a Tuesday, but I'm around. So if you see me, say what's up. Like it's all good.
I told y'all this is going to be a special edition. I could talk to D for hours, but it's just a lot that I feel like you're always talking to other people, but people not really actually getting your story, and I wanted to really get that out of you. So definitely make sure y'all stay up to date. Catch the next episode of Want to Know with Raven Paris.